Hey everybody, welcome to the Multifamily Legacy Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Peterson, and today we've got a huge announcement, so you are not going to want to miss out what we're getting ready to build and throw out there into the multifamily universe. It will blow your mind, and I think it'll change your life, and I'm excited as hell to share it with you. Before I get into that though, gotta go get on the Apple 5-star review list because, dude, it's 763 ratings. Guys, you guys are doing such an amazing job. I'm so thankful. So the first one comes from Leora Herman. It says, awesome show. A great listen for anyone who wants to know how they can profit from investing in the right deals. Love it. Got one from Cletus 5445. Episode 149. This episode resonates with me, made me shift my mindset and take a step forward into achieving my financial goals. Can't wait to hear more. And then I'll give you one more from Davion 100. Corey is the best. This show is easy to listen to. Corey is so knowledgeable and always gives us detailed yet practical insights. Thank you. Listen, for all of you that just did that, thank you. It's because of you and your gracious attitude and taking the time to go on to Apple and leave that 5-star review. It does make me happy and puts a smile on my face. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now, but before we get started, real quickly, a word from our sponsors.
At Kahuna Investments, we partner with passive investors to create award-winning communities families love to call home. If you want to learn more about our company and our process, go to www.kahunainvestments.com and click the deal room.
Okay, we're back. All right, so listen, I'm not going to take very much time on this. I really want to get into it. I've got some good news to share with you. And so me and my buddy, Mike Hambright, are coming on next. Hey, Mike, welcome to the show, brother.
I'm super excited to be here, buddy.
Man, listen, we've got big news. This is big news. This is something that's probably been maybe 3 years in the making, maybe 2 years in the making.
It's been a while.
I'm going to let you spill it. I think you're a better communicator than I am.
I don't know about that. I'll say this. I talk a lot because I've got a lot of opinions. But yeah, hey, we basically just kind of merged. So we have the Investor Fuel Mastermind you can see here that Corey's actually been in my mastermind from the very beginning, almost 4 years. Can you believe this fall, Corey? It's going to be 4 years. But Investor Fuel has blown up, and it's really created a really special place in the real estate investing industry. And we've always been focused on single family. So we have over 100 members. We meet quarterly, and we have a whole bunch of other things that we do for real estate investors. And there's tons of real estate investors that have come into our group and double, triple, quadrupled their business or more. Some people that have really had some massive transformations in their business and their life, right? But me personally, the dirty little secret is, and for you from the beginning, you've been the multifamily guy, but just coming to hang out with probably with me because we're buddies, and some other single family friends because we have a lot of common friends. But you've kind of said all along, I don't really get as much out of this as I used to when I was a single family guy because I'm a multifamily guy. And the reality is I've pretty much been focused on commercial and doing multifamily deals mostly with you over the last several years as well. And so we've really been talking for a couple of years about what if we have a group inside of Investor Fuel that is for, multifamily and other commercial things like, maybe self-storage or mobile home parks, kind of commercial investing instead of single family. And that's the big news we have today. We've just literally launched our Investor Fuel Cashflow Groups that are for either those that are kind of getting started or trying to get started, or maybe even have a few hundred doors already, or those that have 1,000 doors plus. We have kind of groups to basically fit everybody, right, Corey?
Yeah, 2 groups. So here's the why. So we've been running our own mastermind and it's great, but there's a lot of stuff to do. There's a lot of checklists. And Corey already runs a very successful, Corey's a real estate investor. He buys properties all the time. He's just not the guru that goes onto the show on the stage. And so I'm an active investor. And Mike does this. Mike's an active investor too, but he's a way better team. He's got this thing dialed in as far as the systems, the process, the communication. And he already has venue because he's been doing this and it's already a large mastermind group. I've had a small group. And so we decided, hey, listen, let's just go big and let's create the best multifamily investor space ever and just bolt it on to the Fuel family, because what I know about the Fuel family, and I've been in it since the beginning, it's all about people. Like that's why that's why this is such a great thing. We already know each other. We're friends. But to come in and be accessible, in the lunch and the dinners and the networking outside of when we're doing our thing during the event, it's what happens a lot of time after those events are, in the lunch and the dinners and the, at the bar later on or whatever it is. That's when all the magic happens. And so we just said, why don't we just cross-pollinate everything and just make it something awesome?
Yeah, we've always been, not taking anything away from you, we've always been really good at events. And it's not just putting them on, it's building communities. And from high school on, I've always been a connector, the guy that's hosting parties or having parties or whatever. I've always been that person of pulling people together. And I think you and I both get a ton of value out of just surrounding ourselves with the right people. And we've been a parts of other groups and we're like, there's just something missing here, right? And so we've gotten really good at pulling those people together. And now we're kind of unifying and bringing everybody in under the Investor Fuel umbrella.
When I think about like the Investor Fuel family, here's what I always like to say, what it is, and sometimes it's better to say what it's not. I'll tell you what it's not, is a bunch of people coming in there and saying, hey, look at me, I'm such a big deal. All the egos kind of get checked out at the door. And if you're not vulnerable and willing to accept some feedback and talk about your dirt, because we can all talk about the good stuff, but that doesn't help anybody. Masterminds are made to help fix problems or things that you have real issues with, and then you let the experience of the whole group kind of rise your tide. That's what Investor Fuel is, in my opinion. And that's what we're going to add to that cash flow group is just that.
Yep. So for the last 4 years, we've been growing and we have two groups. We kind of call them the gold group and the platinum group. And those are based on experience, again, for single family investors. For us currently, the current groups are, if you're doing 10 to 50 deals a year, we put you in the gold group because those are the types of discussions you need to have. If you're doing 50 up to several hundred deals a year, we have a platinum group. We actually have a platinum plus group for those doing 100 deals a year or more. And we're just really modeling that on the cash flow side, the commercial side now, and saying we have a gold group for anybody that owns less than 1,000 doors. And if you own 1,000 doors or more, truly own, not like I own 1% of a syndication of 1,000 doors or something, right? You have to really be a player.
You got to show us that that you're the guy.
And those groups are meant to, it's not the adult table and the kids table or anything like that. It's the discussions really are where you're at in your business and how to get to that next level. So the cool thing, and we're going to see this in the cash flow groups too, is that in my current groups over the past year, I think we've had close to 10 people actually move up from the gold to the platinum group because their businesses just grew. And that's the type of transformation we're looking for.
Yeah, because it is a different conversation on owning up, 100 units to getting to 1,000, and then really having 1,000 units and trying to get to 5,000. Those are different. It's a different set of problems. And strategically, it's hard to put a guy that owns 3,000 units in a group with people that own 100. It's not relatable. So we're making that separation just to have the conversations within those group relatable. Here's the best part, is we have a crossover.
Yep.
Right? There's a day in there that's kind of like a half day where we bring everybody together. And this is from both groups, the single family and the cash flow group. That's going to be a big venue for us to really just cross-pollinate the whole damn thing.
Yep. You want to hear something really cool? Is there's a half day where we bring the cash flow groups together and the wisdom from the platinum group gets to be shared with the gold group. And the truth is the platinum guys will want to build relationships with the gold members because they know they're up and coming. They have access to deals. Part of why we're doing all this is to get a network of deal makers together, right? But here's the really cool thing.
Money, all that
For a half day, we bring together all the cash flow groups and all of the single family groups where we focus on kind of mindset and other things on the turn there. And so just the energy of both group, really kind of 4 different groups coming together is just amazing because we all, we're investing in different things, but we all have the same mindset issues. We all are focused on freedom, right? We all have the same values. And so to bring everybody together for a half day of kind of mindset and motivation is going to be really exciting.
Well, and here's what I love. So we can just talk about what we did on the last fuel event that we had. It was actually here in Scottsdale. Yeah. And so after that, we had that little morning session, half day. And then this is what I love about the way Mike does things is he's like, let's try to figure out a way to have some fun in between, right? For people that want to stay a little bit longer and whatever. So what do we do, Mike?
Well, we went hiking for a half day. That was a beating for me because I know it looks like I've got a chiseled physique, but it was not showing that day. No, we did some hiking and we just got out. And, the truth is while we're hiking, we're all talking.
Yeah, dude, it was awesome.
We're talking about real estate investing the whole time, right? But just a way to get out and blow off some steam because I think, coming out of COVID and all this stuff, everybody's just kind of bursting at the seams to kind of get back to normal, right?
You just create events and some structures, some things like for us to create some more unique experiences.
Yeah.
And I think that's the special part of, not all masterminds are like that. It's all about like jump in a room and be in a room for 24/7. And that can get kind of stale and old after a while. And what this group does is they like to, I think this is what we talked about too, is, and your mission is like, how do I include travel in everything that I do? And
yeah, we went to Yellowstone together, you and Shelly and my wife and I and some other couples. We went to Yellowstone. They were all Investor Fuel members, and we went out to Park City. We did that.
Yeah, Park City. We had a meeting, and then we had a couple Park City outing a couple days later. Hey, if you want to show up and be part of this, and a lot of us did, and we still remember that day. We actually, that photo just came up a couple days ago, and
it was 2 years ago. So we saw all the snowmobiling and the buffalo on the road and stuff. That was cool.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think that's true. A big part of my life, and I know Corey's too, because honestly, we've become very dear friends over the past few years. Have a lot of similarities, that we do this to live a better life and to create experiences that you're never going to forget. Otherwise, why do we work so hard, right? And so we do these things to get people around us. And let's be honest, one of the benefits of a mastermind is being able to surround yourself with other people that are like you, because in our daily lives, like Corey can't go talk to his neighbor and say, hey, I just closed a $15 million deal yesterday. And I can't say, hey, we made 60 grand on a house, or God forbid, we lost 20 grand on a flip. Like, you just can't have those conversations with a lot of the people in your daily life outside of this industry. But to get together with like-minded people and be able to share stories and commiserate a little bit sometimes.
And to ask, like, how do I make another 24 million, or something like that. For the normal person, you can't do that. But you can at these groups because you're linked with the same group of people. And listen, I don't know, but what's your experience, Mike, in masterminds, and what have they done for you? And what have you seen them do for current Fuel members?
Yeah, we've had some amazing success stories. I think people come and go, their lives come and go. I don't think we've ever had anybody that left Investor Fuel that said, I really didn't like it, this wasn't a fit for me. Like, if anybody's ever left, it's usually been they have conflicts with a lot of the dates coming up. They have personal issues getting in the way. Maybe their business has been disrupted by COVID or other things like that. But I don't think, we've had many people that left. The culture wasn't a good thing, because I think people are surprised by how amazing our culture really is. And so we just create this culture of giving and sharing. But yeah, I've been in lots of groups. I mean, I've been in, whether it's coaching that I've received coaching, or other mastermind groups, and there's always nuggets that I've taken away from those things. But ours is a little bit different in that we're a little bit more laid back. Like, if you're like Corey and I, and you're wearing cargo shorts 5 days a week, and you're out like exploring, you shouldn't have to go somewhere and wear a 5-piece suit that looks like
I got my Mudweiser shirt. It says Mudweiser Off-Road Club, right?
I've got my cargo shorts and sneakers on, And so at the end of the day, this is the life that I want to live. Now, so we don't feel like we have to be on a platform and all dressed up. There's nothing wrong with getting dressed up. Don't get me wrong. The point is you shouldn't have to come to a group like this and be able to kind of let your hair down, if you will. Although Corey and I don't have a lot of hair to let down, but you don't have to be guarded. Just be yourself. You don't have to pretend to be somebody you're not. Yeah, that is not what our group is. And there are a lot of groups that way.
Right. Yep. Everybody comes in and trying to be this somebody, and then they put their mask on, and then they take their mask off in different spots, and they put a new. Some people have like 7 different masks they wear, and that's got to be like distressful. And honestly, I think after a while it gets kind of tiring. So we just let you be authentically you. And most of the people that we know that do this at a pretty high level, we ain't wearing suits.
Yeah,
I mean,
I have suits and I wear them, but I don't necessarily.
I'm uncomfortable. Jacket, right? I get it. We'll wear a jacket. We have to, but the game is played however you want to play it, and so we say, come as you are, or come as you feel comfortable.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong if you're comfortable in a suit, wear a suit. But the truth is just be you. At the end of the day, we're a bunch of people that are playing a game here to live a better life and impact the communities around us, our families, and all the people that we care about. That's what this is really about: is how to get to that next level, and by learning inside of small groups where people can share. Here's exactly how I did it, or the best way to learn, you learn from experiences, right? The best way to learn is from other people's experiences. Like, if you can prevent yourself from saying, well, hey, don't touch that hot stove because it's going to burn you. Like, that's better than actually touching the hot stove and learning that way.
Really is. I look at my experience in masterminds. I'll say I've grown the most by doing masterminds. If it wasn't for those types of groups and settings, I don't even think I'd have the multifamily business that I have now. I was able to leverage other people's and ideas, and more importantly, I think systems, right? Because systems, that's really the key to this, and people. And we're in the people business, and this is why we've combined these things together. It'll actually make it, if there's a more word, I'm going to call it more awesomer.
Well, if you think about it, the truth is if you think about it in multifamily, one of the things I love about multifamily as compared to single family, by the way, single family, if any of our members that are listening to this, like nothing is changing for our folks. This is actually going to give us more energy for sure. Corey's going to be managing the cash flow groups. I'll be managing our current groups. And we've got, more love than ever pouring into our current groups. One of the things that I love about multifamily investing versus single family is that it's very much a team approach. Like you come into it saying, I need a sponsor. I need somebody with money, probably a bunch of people with money. I need somebody to find the deals. Like you kind of come into it from a different approach. And the truth is that's exactly what our mastermind is. And that's exactly what you and I are doing. Like we've got some strengths and we've got some weaknesses and we're complementing that by putting our heads together. That's the foundation of a mastermind is 2 heads are better than 1, 100 heads are better than 2, right? And so that's exactly what we're doing here.
So let's give everybody, let's let the rabbit out of the hat. How do people, so everybody's listening right now, they want to know how to get into the cash flow mastermind. How do they do it?
So you just go to investorfuel.com and you'll see a button that says request your invitation. And then it's going to basically ask you, are you a single family investor? Are you a commercial or multifamily investor? Just pick the cash flow group and you're going to schedule an appointment with us. In fact, a lot of them are going to be with Shelly and
my wife. Team. Shelly's going to be answering those calls.
And then we basically will have a quick conversation, 15, 20 minutes, and just see if you're the right fit for our group. We're very protective of our culture, and we want to make sure that we can meet your needs too. It could be that we're not the right fit for you ever or now. Like we don't know that till we have a quick call. And so it's as simple as that. If it makes sense on the call, we're going to give you an invitation and tell you what the next steps are to join. And it's as simple as that.
Yeah. Investorfuel.com. Click on the cash flow or multifamily tab. I can't remember which one. Does it say cash flow or just say multifamily?
I think it says cash flow. It might say cash flow, yeah.
Yeah, I think it says cash flow. So click on that button. You'll talk with my wife, Shelly. She's amazing, by the way, and she loves people. And really, it's no harder than that. Now, what I've learned about this is this. I would tell you, not all masterminds are equal. I want to be very upfront but I think ours is special. I mean, I know it is, right? Okay. I've seen just recently in the small group that I have, about 20 people, we've got 4 people getting deals this week, like their first deal. And it's the funnest thing as me leading that group to see everybody getting their first ones or the second ones and you start seeing that light turn on where they're making an acquisition fee. They're putting their teams together and it's so rewarding. And I'm going to see that what's going to happen is we're going to see a lot more of that. And that's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I think some people have, even in your group, have asked, what happens if we get larger? And we always had our pulse on the quality of our groups. And people have always had everything I've ever been a part of, that somebody got in early. There's always people that question, well, what happens if you get larger? Does that take away from the relationships? And I'd say they only get better because you end up finding your place inside of there. Like I really like this couple or these people or whoever it might be. And there's, probably going to be friends with everybody, but there's always a way to find somebody more like you that you align with in a bigger group. And when you're looking to do deals or you're looking to raise money, there's more of that opportunity as the group grows. So
I want to talk about the Platinum group for just a minute too, because really we're talking a lot of for some of the newer people that are getting into the multifamily space that have, a couple hundred doors. And there's a place, if you're like 200 or 300 doors or you're 0 doors, but you've really been in that multifamily space, you just not be able to get it yet. We got a place for you for that. Up to 1,000, right? Now for everybody that's, I'll call it, your bigger operator, like you've now done 1,000 doors. I'll tell you why, there's nobody that I know of right now that has a separate group just for, better word for it, I'm gonna call it for the ballers, right? And that's not the right word for it, but the guys that are actually have put enough time to get that's something that's not easy. It's a little harder. There's no other multifamily groups that I know of that is separating that out because it truly is a different conversation. And I just want to encourage you right now, if you have 1,000 doors or more and you're looking for the place to connect, you absolutely have to go to investorfuel.com, click on the cash flow button, and let us have a conversation with you because I think you're going to find a home. Because I know that's not out there that I know of, that I've seen anybody do it. And that's why we've chosen to create something very special, unique for those who are actually doing it at a very high level.
Yep. Awesome, man. Well, what's left to say? We're excited to get this thing going here. We're really excited. I'm excited to work more closely with you. We've been friends for a long time. And all you got to do is
4 meetings a year. You already said that, right?
Yeah. So we have 4 meetings a year, we call them masterminds. And then we do the other events that are just kind of sprinkled in. Like I took a group to Cabo last December. We've been to Yellowstone. Actually, 2 different times we've been to Yellowstone now in the winter, snowmobiling and dog sledding. It was amazing. So we're all about experiences. My wife and I love travel. Corey and Shelly and I love to travel. In fact, we travel together.
We're getting ready to go to Sturgis, aren't we?
Yeah, going to Sturgis. I've never even really ridden a motorcycle since I was like a kid, so I don't know if I have to get leather chaps or what I'm going to do. But I'm excited to go through the experience. I'm not a biker, but I'm excited to go hang out with Corey.
Well, we're going to get you a 3-wheeler, and
it'll be something that I'll never forget, right? And so that's what we're trying to do, is create experiences for people. And so we just have this amazing community. And I'd say, unlike some other masterminds, we're not all about 4 events a year. Like, we're a community 365 days a year. We have a private Facebook group. We have a membership site where we store all of our training, all of our videos, everything that's ever done. And so we're really this 365 day a year community. And if that makes sense for you, you simply just need to go to investorfuel.com and apply, and we'll talk about it.
Cool. Mike, thanks for coming on. And just,
Yeah,
I know this is a whole podcast to pitch our mastermind, but I believe it deserves its place because listen, I know there's people out there that want a community, and I know that this is it, and it'll help move the needle. And a lot of times, sometimes we just need a little help from a group of people to help us grow. And I think that's what it's going to do. With that said, guys, investing in general is the best thing since sliced bread. I mean, it wasn't but 18, 19 years ago that I had the vision of sunsets and palm trees. I went to Hawaii. I saw my first mentor, Bruce Wayne, and he showed me that real estate was the way. He had time and money. I think that's what we're all searching for. But it starts with belief, guys. You have to believe it in your mind. You have to see the vision clearly. Let us help you along the way. But if you believe it, you can achieve it, and your paradise is possible.